I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am burned. My face has been on fire all day today. Just like the markets, the SPY, well, I didn't even plan that. The SPY, which is the futures on the S&P 500, so the SPX, was up about 4.5 roughly pre-market. So we knew it was going to be a big green day today, which is great for especially, holding longer positions and, swing trading, all that fun stuff. But for us as a small cap gap and go momentum trader, I've noticed that every time the market has a lot of volume and the markets overall are making big moves in terms to the upside or the downside, it almost doesn't really matter. Although I kind of noticed as well, when the markets are red, I do somehow much better. But these big moves in the markets, if it's to the upside or the downside, kind of takes a lot of the volume out of the small cap world. So today is a perfect example of that. A lot of the small caps we were looking at, they just didn't have the volume behind them to have these really clear breakout follow throughs. And a lot of the stocks we were looking at today were just kind of pulling back, and they were kind of around 5 to 10 million volume. I think AKER was at like 40 million. It's on the chart behind me right now. But, all these stocks, they should be at like 50 to 100 million in dollar volume, really, breaking out to new highs. But I think a lot of the large caps really took the center stage today, and you kind of felt that in the small cap world. And then, like expected, with the SPY up so much, I ran the scanner this morning, and there was a lot of stocks on the scanner, a bit more than usual, about 40 when I ran it, and then it was like almost at 70 when we ran it on the stream again. And there was no really clear lead gapper. I mean, we were looking at MESO, GGLY, nothing really that perfect according to their chart patterns pre-market. And then last minute, we had AKER kind of pop up on the chart because 5 minutes before the market opened, it just rips 60% and then rips like another 20% off of that in just 5 minutes. It was a really, really big move. And then out of the gates, it ran 30%, and that would have been the one to get aggressive on. But honestly, it just popped out of nowhere, and I should have been a bit more aggressive on that, but I haven't seen something like that in a really long time, and I don't know, I wasn't super comfortable on it. I didn't know what the catalyst was. I didn't really know what the float was just yet, so I decided to kind of take a step back. And today is a small red day for trading for us today, which is totally fine. I mean, small red days, they happen, and that's the important part. You want it to be small red days. But in this recap video, I want to really be focusing on how I should have treated today and where would have been some really nice entries, specifically with AKER, because even though it wasn't really breaking out to new highs, there was many good entry points for at least a 5 to 7% trade, which is still really good. And before we head to the charts, I just want to give you guys a quick little reminder. Friday, the markets are closed for Good Friday. Basically the Easter holidays. So don't forget to put that in your calculator. Let's go to the charts now. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy this content. If you're totally new here, consider subscribing. I'd love to see you again in an upcoming video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. I make sure to answer all questions and comments on YouTube. Let's go to the charts now. All right, so there it goes. AKER just rips away without us. It's 11:16 a.m. right now, and yeah, this was kind of the lead gapper on the day. It wasn't exactly my first one on the scanner because it actually popped up on the scanner. You can kind of see it here pre-market a little bit late at 9:25. So 5 minutes into the market open, this thing ran up basically 80%, pulls back here around 2.97%, and then right into the market open runs another 37%. So really big move on AKER. 2.7 million shares outstanding, 8.3 million market cap. I mean, this is everything we're typically looking for. And this is actually a pretty nice move here. I kind of missed it. We had a nice little triple bottom here, and then here I was thinking about buying, and here I really should have bought it. This could have been a nice little 8% trade. So I missed it twice, and I'm a little disappointed that I missed it because AKER was actually like ECOR from Friday, which the chart patterns are almost identical. So I'll show you that in a little bit. But let me talk about why AKER is up very quickly and what I was looking to trade with it. Because, in the morning around $3.5 to $4, there was big time resistance. And you can see here, we were just constantly getting rejected. My thought process was maybe we'll break above 4 and then we'll be able to probably run to 5, 5.5 to 6. Like this could have been a really nice run up. And that's kind of what I was looking for. So AKER, they had some really good news today, actually. I mean, one, it was coronavirus related, which is always sometimes really good news as a small cap. And they had a nice little bit of a partnership announces progress. So they have progress on a vaccine development, and then they had here where they surges 57%. Partnership with Premise Biotech has obtained, which has obtained clones for all three COVID-19 antigens chosen for its vaccine candidate. So working on vaccines, partnership, coronavirus. I mean, this thing, really good news here. So, but you know, it just traded a little bit fishy, and it was a little bit tough to trade because, you know, when it had this failed breakout here, the pullback was just really, really aggressive. And, you know, we had this nice little dip buy here, but then I kind of got shaken out in this area because, you know, every time these bounces don't happen very quickly, there's a very high chance that it's a dead cat bounce. And that's oftentimes what we see. So then I kind of got out of this trade because I just didn't really trust in this area. Now it's kind of, you know, pulling up higher again. I think there's a good chance we might even break VWAP this time. I'm going to keep a close eye on it. Maybe I'll trade on the backside of the move, but I don't know. So far, it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting a trade on it. I just really want to quickly point out ECOR. So ECOR was one of the lead gappers from the Friday, like I said. And this thing is a little bit similar. Pre-market, obviously way different. Pre-market, this thing was trading really actively. 131%, and then, you know, before the market opened, it was actually pulling back. But really quickly here, ECOR was 140% gap of 20 million flow, U.S. healthcare company, FDA submission for coronavirus news. But we're kind of on the backside of the move on this one, big resistance above, and then, you know, this one just kind of sells off all day. What I really want to focus on, though, is kind of what happened around here. So yeah, okay, so we kind of, this area is very similar. So we kind of had a triple bottom again, 1, 2, 3, and then we had a higher low, and then we had finally some buying volume come in here, and then we bought this little continuation here. So this was a nice little trade. It kept on running much more, obviously, about 25%, but then, you know, I don't know, I couldn't get myself to trade here for some reason. Eventually, after the stream, I was able to do one more bounce trade in this area. So this was kind of a nice little trade. But ECOR was really tough to trade because, you know, in the morning we had a failed breakout, and then all day was selling off, or all morning. And that's kind of the similar situation with AKER. Failed breakout, and then, you know, just selling off the rest of the day. And AKER, I mean, got them all over the place. ECOR has been kind of dead ever since that move. So I don't know, like, is this something I want to, you know, AKER, maybe I'll try to buy it on a pullback to 275. I don't know. It's really, really tough to say what I want to do on this one. There's a good chance it's going to have a little bit of a blow off here like ECOR had. I don't know. It's good to study the past because there's a good chance it's going to happen again in the future. It's always a little bit different, but, you know, that's why we study these chart patterns. That's why I take screenshots of all of my trades, and that's why I study them on the weekends and before the market opens, and you know, that's how you're able to get better, because these patterns repeat themselves over and over and over and over again. I mean, you can look at material from traders from like 10 years ago, and it's all the same stuff. So, you know, the more comfortable you get with it, the more you understand how news affects these stocks, how the float affects it, and then also the overall market, how the overall market affects it. What I've noticed is when the market's up this much, I mean, Dow Jones 4.7%, SPX 4.6%, NASDAQ 4.6 as well, SPY. I mean, everything, the market is just doing really well today. And what I notice is when the market's up this much, or down a lot too, it's sometimes really hard to trade small caps because a lot of the volume is in the large caps. That's what people are trading, and that kind of puts a little bit less follow through on some of the small caps. So I think that's been a big thing. And I've actually noticed that some of my best days, actually almost all of my best days, are when the market overall isn't having a big red day, isn't having a big green day, is just kind of like doing nothing, right? Because that's when there's like a clear lead gapper. And today I ran the scanner, and there was no really clear move. I mean, we were looking at several stocks. I could just kind of go through the list. We were looking at CODX, which was on the backside of the move. Didn't really like it. You could really see it on the 5-minute, like how just, you know, it's having big issues here in the 11.5 area. Big backside of the move on this one. Just wasn't really able to do anything. Let me quickly scroll here. So, you know, this one just kind of sold off, and I called this out pre-market. I was like, I don't like this. I mean, every time I see these patterns kind of consolidate in this area, they just get rejected here, then near former highs. You can see this $11 area is critical. I mean, we've had bounces off this area, rejections, breakouts, and then, you know, we're pulling back up to this area with kind of light volume. I don't know. It's just like, what are you going to do with this one? Yeah, 10% move. I don't know. If anything, I probably would have shorted this one, but I typically don't short. We were looking at
MES. So it's actually a lead gapper. I was kind of wanting to trade it around 5.5, but yeah, just not a lot of follow through. I mean, check out that volume, 5.2 million. That's nothing. By now they should all be over 50 million, and even AKER, which was like the lead one, just not really doing too much of anything. So yeah, a little disappointing. Miso, yeah, I don't know. DGLY, let's quickly check out this. Oh, actually BORR, again, it's kind of sub dollar, so I didn't really pay attention to it. But yeah, this one's just kind of selling off all day too. SLGG, similar situation, try to break here, had to fake out and pull back. And this is why I don't like trading stocks near big time resistance. I like to trade them when they break resistance and we pull back to that. That's a much nicer trade. But this one just, oh my God, 36% down, and just this move is ridiculous. So just, I don't know, SLGG, we were kind of staying away from that one because SLGG had no catalyst, and that was a big reason I didn't want to trade it. Did we talk about DGLY yet? DGLY is another one though. It just kind of sold off here, and it did find a bit of a bottom at 943, 945, and had kind of a nice little run up here. I think DGLY, which had a partnership, coronavirus protection news, could have been a good trade. Like, we broke out right here on like 10.05 and 10%, then consolidated and had another move up. I think buying this consolidation here probably would have been a good move. But this one just 1.3 million, so likely to trade it. So it's like so uninteresting to trade. And I think that really wraps up the thesis today. It's just, if the market is really the thing that has a lot of volume and the traders probably looking at, you want to be extra cautious with the small caps because there's not going to be as much volume. There's not going to be as much follow through. There's probably going to be a bit more fake outs. And that's kind of how we traded today. I kind of understood that. So we didn't really make any too big of mistakes, luckily. Just, one of those days, I guess you can say. It's not really bad. It's not really good. It's just how it is. And it's good to understand, like, this is a time to be a little bit more cautious. And that kind of paid off. Honestly, I probably should have been a little bit more aggressive buying some of the dips on AKER and just having some really nice bounce trades. Like, I'm just like, as we pull back here to $3.3, the whole number bounce, this could have been a 5 to 7% bounce trade. And then this area, could have been good. The timing was wrong. This could have been like a 13% trade. This is chop. I would have not traded any of this, but then here, this trade is definitely a missed opportunity. I definitely could have traded this one. So, there's still tons of opportunities. You just got to know when to get aggressive, when not to get aggressive. And today, I was a little bit fully allocated in this trade. So today I should have probably done 3 trades. So reduce my allocation per trade. And then, I could have probably wrapped up today much better because no one trade would have been as significant. But yeah, I don't know. I had a kind of high hopes that this reversal was going to be a little bit stronger as the lead gapper and nothing else was really moving. But yeah, so whatever. Just so far, small red day. I might do one more trade. I don't know. It really depends. AKER, if we get a quick pullback, I would probably go long on AKER. Just, you want to watch out when you're kind of on the backside of a bigger move. I mean, ECOR just, totally flatlined at one point. So just gotta really watch out for that. Let me just pull this up one more time. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up everything for this video. Here you can see it. So ECOR kind of had this little, VWAP, attempted breakout, and then just pulled back the rest of the day. So you don't want to get stuck in that. And it never bounced back up here. So even holding this overnight would have been a bad idea. And that there's a good chance that could happen with the AKER. Really good chance. Because right now we're kind of in that, trying to break VWAP area and it's not working. This thing could just flash crash to 2.5. You might maybe dip here and buy the dip at maybe 275, and then before you know it, it never even comes back to that area. So you gotta be careful. I mean, it's officially past 11 o'clock. There's less traders, less volume, less breakout opportunities. I don't know. Maybe AKER around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe this one's gonna absolutely rip in the afternoon. You don't really know, but right now I want to be very careful with it. So. Yeah, that's kind of the recap for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, if you found some value in it. Consider subscribing if you're new. I'd love to see you again on a recap video or on the stream in the chat room. Questions, comments, leave them below. I answer all of them, and I will see you guys then first thing tomorrow. Hope you had a great Monday, and yeah, let's get ready for tomorrow trading. See you guys then. Till then, stay safe and make some awesome trades, guys. Ciao, ciao.